Oh, hello, and welcome to Al Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Dr. Levine, and not pissing myself.
And I'm Mikey. The E stands for evil.
So I'm going to add that the first part at the edit so that you're like, what? What are you doing? Anyways, and we're here to discuss those internet stories most creepy and most pasta. And for October, with Halloween coming up, I chose Leonard's Pumpkin.
Leonard's Pumpkin.
Yeah,
Sorry.
nice.
Oh my god, there is. Sorry.
And that's how this is gonna go.
Yep. So for those of you just tuning in, creepypasta are short internet stories that get copied and pasted across the internet, whether it be on Kiwi6 or...
No, that's us. We're on Kiwi6.
Hey, whether it be on Wikipedia pages, forums, Reddit, go check them out. And yeah, this one I pulled from Creepypasta.wikia because it's October. We needed a pumpkin themed one because it's Halloween almost. And
Also,
this one was the longer of the two.
Shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Pumpkin beer.
This is your pumpkin spiced
pie,
episode.
Pumpkin muffins, pumpkin donuts,
Pumpkin this and that.
pumpkin fucking steak.
I'm sure there's a steak spice for that.
Just had pumpkin spice.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we'll just dive right into this one. This one doesn't have much of a. It doesn't have an author, as far as I could tell. Like the closest I think maybe the case is a Nyxson, Nyxson, but really I'm just basing that off of
Comments.
a comment because it sounded like the guy was the author, but who knows. Creepypasta.wiki doesn't always help with who is the author. So anyway, we'll go right into this one. So this guy named Leonard is 25 something, turning 26, kid going to living on his own, except with his 15-year-old cat, who's his best friend. He's a high-functioning autistic, but regardless, he's living alone, away from home, and it's Halloween. It's the day before Halloween, so he gets a pumpkin and he's carving it out, and kind of just like he doesn't make make himself an artist for a living, like as for his career, but apparently he just horribly disfigures this pumpkin clumsily and puts it out. And also, I think he has a cold at this point too. Like he's congested and stuff. His birthday is the 2nd of November, so it's like 2 days away. And he's like he goes through Halloween. Congested and doing trick-or-treating. Apparently people like start seeing his jack-o'-lantern and something more and more over the course of the night. They start looking more and more disturbed about it, and then when at the end of the night he finds out...
they don't get more. Some of them are, some of them aren't.
Right,
like,
okay, yeah. Some
of them are amused by it, some of them are like, ugh.
Yeah.
But it's not that.
They become more and more... Okay,
yeah,
fair enough. Goes to... check it out at the end of the night and finds out why. It's all shriveled up, like horrible, grotesque looking, like more so than he had intended. So anyways, he goes, crashes that night, wakes up, I think feeling like complete shit, goes outside to check his mail and stuff like that, and sees that the pumpkin's gone. I was like, that's weird. And then goes back inside and goes to check his cat, who's curled up at his feet, I think after like a couple of hours, and sees that the cat is dead. And so after a very sad moment, brings the cat outside with the shovel and digs a grave for it outside of his window. And then goes back out to the front of the yard where there's a black pumpkin with a jack-o'-lantern face of a cat on it, and it's glowing. It has like a red light inside of it. Is that the one he freaks out and then like throws it into the yard, into the property? Okay, yeah, he like freaks out, grabs it, throws it out into the street, and then goes inside. Wakes up a couple of hours later. Like apparently he just crashed onto his floor and like his head like landed onto the couch. Feeling like crap. Goes out. Does he go outside now and then finds the tanned one, the skin colored pumpkin.
So yeah, that's the next.
Yeah, it's the next thing. Yeah, it's the next pumpkin stage. Goes outside, finds a pumpkin that's skin colored, in fact, the same skin tone as he is, and it's his face on it. And he freaks out, or he starts laughing at that one, and then starts wondering what the hell's going on. Goes inside, goes upstairs to his room, practically floats up the stairs, and then finds out that his body and Nyx's body is on the bed, and he starts choking and coughing, and it goes black, and then it cuts to an obit where it says that Leonard Schmidt was 26 on his 26th birthday, died, and his family found him, but he died alongside his 15-year-old cat who died shortly before him. Dun dun dun. He was possibly dead the whole time, or that he was just dreaming, or his had an out-of-body experience before he died. That's pretty much the end of the story. And if that seemed hackneyed, hack jobbed, that whole rundown, that's because it was. But I mean, those are pretty much the basic points. So this one, okay. So, yeah, had a cool twist at the end, or a cool twist idea at the end of it. And there were some hints throughout the story, after the fact I caught on. I was like, oh yeah, Day of the Dead, the whole floating up the stairs thing. The descriptions, anyway, were kind of alluding to something. But the story itself has a very, everything else in the story, when they're not being, there were pockets of the story that were, kind of well described and I liked the read, but most of it was just a summary of events that happened. It wasn't really anything to it other than that. The jack-o'-lantern, the swapping of the jack-o'-lanterns to, different, people, or the different faces and stuff with that was cool. I liked that as a device. I think that would have been really well if it had been expanded on.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. It did nothing.
Yeah.
And went nowhere.
Yeah, pretty much. It was just really foretelling that, he's going to die, or, he's going to die, but then he's already kind of in his bed.
But he's already dead?
Yeah. Yeah. So it would have been cool if it would have been done in a better story.
Because, I mean, he clearly been dead since he found the cat, because the cat was still on the bed, even though he buried the cat.
Yeah, there's that. I feel like if it hadn't gone the whole, he was dead the whole time, and if it had actually been some weird, supernatural thing, or some dude just fucking with him, I think that would have actually been a stronger story. Also, I don't know why exactly he had to be high-functioning autistic, aside from just representation in stories, and this isn't, I'm not saying this is the case, or the yay or nay about it, because I don't know. Maybe the author is, and it's just write what you know. It's not a bad thing or an issue at all. It's just, there's a question that popped up when I was, looking at the story and trying to figure out what to talk about for this one, because it's just, really, it doesn't really serve any purpose in the story, aside from just, it's something the character has. That's really it. What else? I had another thing here. Oh yeah, the obits for this at the end of the story are just not realistic at all. Mm-hmm. They couldn't give the time or cause of death. They usually don't do that in obits, and especially wouldn't say that the person died in an agonizing way for 2 days, and with temperature and stuff like that.
With a fever over 100 degrees.
And generally wouldn't say but he died alongside his 15-year-old cat, who died shortly before that. And it's just no, it's newspapers are way too sensitive about that for that subject, because the families are usually the ones that are those that obituaries are for, not the general public. It's usually to get notice out there and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's a memorial thing usually. So I can't think of a newspaper that would actually be that insensitive mm-hmm. and post that. They'd lose money over that mm-hmm. kind of thing. That's really my thoughts on it. Because this one was fairly short, all things considered. It's about 3 pages, in terms of its length, and I feel like it could have been expanded on. If it had been looked at, and it just needed to be better. That's really what it had to be. It was too summarized. There wasn't enough. We don't sit enough with what's going on to really kind of appreciate what's the situation, and then it was just kind of racing to the twist at the end.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and it started racing It started racing way earlier than I would have normally expected.
Yeah.
Because, like the first half of the story, they're all of this, not minutia, but like there are all these little things, and you can at least comprehend the timeline that's going on. But basically, once the trick-or-treating's over, I don't know when he's falling asleep or waking up half the time.
Yeah.
Like, and how long has he slept, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, because, like, he doesn't put exact, precise times, but he does put in a rough idea of the time here and there. And it's just like, I don't know what's going on with your sleep.
Yeah.
Because he's waking up all of a sudden every time.
Yeah, because it was pretty jarring, the couch waking up. It's like, oh, suddenly I'm on the couch. And
Like,
for no reason.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I mean, like, you know, maybe that, like, it's because he was already dead, or I don't know.
Yeah, we really...
But, like, it was unnecessary to just be waking up all of a sudden. And it just, like, the last half of the story, it's like, I don't know what time it is. You're trying to be good about letting me know what time it is, but really all you're doing is confusing the matter more.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're waking up 3 hours later. Well, when the fuck did you fall asleep?
Yeah, like, there is actually a part where he says, like, he goes to the skin-toned pumpkin, and, like, he could barely make out the face because it's 3 o'clock a.m. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's in the night, not... I thought it was, like, later in the day, not at night he woke up. But, yeah, it's that kind of thing. Like, suddenly, like, I had to, like, oh, okay, so that's why you can't really see it properly.
Yeah, it was just a big fucking mess at that. Like, by the time he gets to the fucking skin-toned pumpkin, it's a fucking mess.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's like, it spends the last half of the story getting muddier and muddier waters as far as knowing when it is. Like, I mean, you know what's going on, but he's trying to have a cohesive timeline, and really all he's confusing
everybody? Yeah.
And yeah, it's just, honestly, it's a fucking mess from that point. And it never recovers at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was definitely also very much with you on the obit. I was like, now, I don't read the obits because I want to live longer, so when I do read the paper, I start with comics.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't help when you're working a paper.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I assumed that was how you...
I was like...
You had your first-hand information, was that...
I literally, I read this during my one of my shifts, and I was like... I literally spent the rest of the shift just checking our obits, and it was like, just to read through them to see just how we handle obits, and it was just like, no, it's always... They don't even say death. They're not allowed to say death. Or they're not allowed to say the person died. They have to say, like, they passed on, they moved on, they went on with loved ones, surrounded by loved ones, stuff like that. You generally don't... I mean, and most of the obits I read at the paper are... old people, like seniors, that pass on natural causes. Not you usually don't see like somebody dying like of something like not natural in an obit, or if it's done like a lot more tastefully than what is presented. Like it's just it definitely reeks that like he wanted to get that out for the story, not for realism at all.
Yeah,
or inexperience, maybe on account of inexperience of what an obit is.
The whole fucking would have been longer. Really, what should have happened was doing it in a with his parents talking to a doctor or something. That would have been better. Because they fucking, oh shit, and they call the ambulance, and he's already dead, but. And somewhere, a doctor is going to tell them what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like we could have had
also, that. Who's doing Friends the fucking cat? When it's, pretty clear he died because he was sick.
Yeah.
And, oh yeah, don't worry though, the cat died of old age.
Yeah, no, I know, yeah, the obits, the way I was like, no, they wouldn't go even that more, they would do, again, died among a friend or something like that, or passed on among a friend. That would be about it. It wouldn't be, the in-depth that we got. It's like the rest of the story. It was making it for the rest of the story, kind of just being just a summary of events, and then it's just I gotta put all this information in here.
Also, I don't really understand why the cat had to die.
Yeah,
as far as storytelling goes,
just to be sad. That's about it. Or
like
I get you too.
it doesn't
'cause, like,
add anything to the story one way or the other. It's just
to add to the character's like
And I mean,
mood.
like-
That's about it. But yeah.
yeah. But I love cats.
No, yeah.
and the death of the cat had no effect on me.
Oh, okay.
So like, I mean. You know, fucking 15 years. I don't know, I don't know my cat years to human years like I do dog years, but seems like a fucking good long life for
Yeah.
it. Seems like a decent life for a house cat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
You know, not a record breaker, but, you
Yeah.
know, within the realm of possibility that, that cat just died of old age.
yeah. There's definitely a couple of parts in the story where I'm just like where I kept asking myself like at the back of my mind, it's just like why. Like there's just a couple of key questions, like things that need to be like looked at in like a second go, and just like this needs to be explained, or this needs to be, you need to give a better reason for why this has happened, right? Like, why the cat died, again, why the high functioning autism, like not that there's anything wrong with it, again, it's just I don't know what, like, aside from
but for the most part, if you're going to give information in a story, you're going to do something.
exactly
with it.
like don't just, and this isn't even red herring, this is just, it's just there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. Mikey, E stands for evil.
Yes.
Let's hear the
Yes.
picks.
Well, the first problem I had wasn't with the creepy part of it at all. We have a 25-year-old living alone with a cat in a 2-story house, and his job is artistic.
And it seems
Yeah.
also like this is the first time he moved in.
Yeah. So you're gonna have a 1-story if
Maybe
you
an
can
apartment.
if you can afford a house.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10 it's an apartment because houses are expensive.
Yeah.
Like, unless they're family owned, like they're just a second home that the family owns,
Yeah.
and that you're just like living, like essentially living in it because nobody else is gonna. Well, they want somebody that they can trust to live in it. You're not getting a 2-story house. Yeah, I just realized that. Yeah, that's actually a glaring issue, especially for that. Like, because again, like as an artist, I mean, come on, man. Like I work at a paper.
Yeah.
Like I do stuff on the side and too, but like yeah, as an artist, that does not. You can't.
Compute.
Yeah, that does not compute. Especially like even if you have like a really awesome job, it's more or less you're doing it for a passion, not for the income.
Yeah.
Unless you sell your soul and get in something really dark, but we can get into that later.
And well, that'd be a good story in and of itself.
Alright, so onward to the nitpicks.
That wasn't a nitpick. That was just to be fair, that wasn't a nitpick. That was actually a very the bite. Yeah. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, that was actually something that I noticed when I read it, but yeah.
Well, it's because he separated the whole artistic job from the beginning. He's like, oh yeah, I got a 2-story house, and then the drawings, I have artistic career. It's like,
Yeah.
what? Like, that doesn't explain the 2-story house.
You're obviously not a sculptor.
Yeah. So, this is when he's talking about his cold. It was bad enough that I called out of work, which I don't do often.
I've heard that terminology,
Yeah.
like
Well-
that phrasing before.
But, well, the phrasing, I didn't technically like, because to me...
I don't like it
call
either.
Out work is more called out, like, called away from work.
I don't like it either, but I have seen it before. It's phrasing that you have to think about if you've ever heard any other different phrasing for calling sick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The next one was as he's reminiscing about Halloween and the people that would be coming to his house.
Mm-hmm.
And who knew? Maybe one of the neighbors would be a nice lady my age. I shrugged cynically. How does one shrug cynically?
I do it all the time.
Yeah. Just look at Exhibit A.
I really do it all the time. I said do it. Yeah. That's really commonplace.
Okay. I've just never shrugged
Also,
cynically myself.
actually, and also
apparently.
that one
Well, you're not a
actually.
very cynical bastard. I am a very cynical bastard.
It's true. Actually, that whole line itself also caught me because it was like it almost sounds like he should have been in an apartment again.
Yeah.
Because, like, oh, who knows? Maybe there's a nice lady friend the same size or the same age. That sounds like more like it would fit like a apartment hallway kind of like environment than a neighborhood.
It fits
to me.
because an apartment building is a neighborhood. Just it's compressed.
Yeah.
Whereas it's the same thing. It fits both places. However, it's unnecessary in this story.
Yes.
Because that's the only mention of anything like that.
And then we move on.
And we never talk about that kind of shit for the rest of the story.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't need to mention it once.
Yeah.
And then when he's actually carving the pumpkins, he explains that the finished product of my pumpkin carving, which broke both carving knives. Like,
Yeah.
I've carved a pumpkin with dollar store carving knives, and never has it broken.
Ours is, I think we've broken one, but most of the time it gets bent, like out of shape.
Yeah, it's
Although
I'm pretty sure he's not carving a pumpkin. He's carving a coconut.
That said, I usually also use I just go straight with a kitchen knife and don't use a carving knife. But that's just.
But yeah, like seriously, why would you even buy two?
Yeah.
To do it, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
You would buy one, and if it broke, you would honestly just switch to
the kitchen knife.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a knife
regular
from
kitchen knife.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the dollar store ones comes in packs of 2.
Oh, they do.
Okay, so maybe that's
least,
why. Maybe that's right then. Yeah.
But yeah, still, it's
Yeah.
just like.
That pumpkin is like not like is pumpkins.
I'm telling you, it was a coconut.
Yeah.
And then he sleeps with a ninja sword
Under his pillow.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Oh, I so forgot about that. That one. Yeah, anytime anyone sleeps, and like immediately, I'm thinking, do you mean a katana? I bet you mean a katana.
Yeah.
And then
Now, to be fair,
I immediately think, well, you're better off to not be armed with that, because odds are really fucking good. What you have in your hand is a piece of art, not a weapon.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's just.
It is, but at the same time, though, it does sound like something like a late teen or like some high schooler would say, not a college student, or not a post college person. Like it sounds like something like I remember
When
actually.
I grow up, I'm gonna have a fucking ninja sword under my pillow.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it's that kind of like
it's the same kind of person who thinks that you graduate or your first place out of college, you'll have a house.
2-story house. Yeah, by yourself with your cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely went when he first introduced Nick. I was like, "Oh, okay, you have a roommate," and it's like, "No, you have a cat." Because I mean, if you have a roommate, yeah, you might be able to afford a house.
Because that cat's not paying any bills.
Yeah.
No, cats are dicks. That's why I like them so much.
Yeah. And then the next was me just trying to figure out when exactly he sort of went to sleep and then never actually moved from his bed.
A chore, I'm sure.
Which I'm thinking it's before the, after he's carved the pumpkin, and then before the trick-or-treaters.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that because the pumpkin that he carved shrivels.
Yeah, you were saying that.
And pumpkins don't shrivel over the course of an evening.
Yeah.
See, I think it's another one of those things where, like, it went nowhere. Like, it was something that happened that was, like, a cool idea, and then he never really went with that. Because, like, honestly, I thought that was going to be the focal point, was the shriveled one, not swapping them out with different pumpkins. But, yeah, like, that...
Well, and at the end of the whole explaining that the pumpkin is shriveled, he says, I felt like I wanted to shrivel up too, which sort of lends to that he's already in the process of dying.
Yeah.
So, otherwise, the shriveling pumpkin just doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah.
See, and
that's
you
the
might
problem.
be right, but I honestly like so much of this story is just such a clusterfuck of, like, introduced ideas that have nothing done with them. That you might be right once upon a time, but we don't get enough
there's not enough information.
It's not written thoroughly enough. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, there's not enough detail given.
Yeah, it's just there's fucking half-started ideas that are just immediately abandoned. Just through this goddamn story. And just not so much shit out of left field, just shit walking off to left field.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm just gonna go out in left field and die now. Okay.
Yeah, like
thanks for coming out, idea.
Yeah, like again, reading it, like I saw like stuff that was like hinting to the fact that he's already dead or he's already dying and stuff, but like it's not really cohesive throughout the story. So, and again, they're throwing all these other things like the pumpkin swap and the cat that is dead and then dead again, or that he never quite brought out, and like he spent all the time to dig that hole.
What I thought would have been a cool idea is if he's dead but the cat wasn't.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
The reason the cat wasn't waking up was because he wasn't touching the cat.
That's exactly what I thought was going to happen, and then it's like, oh no, the cat died as well. It's like, okay, that just makes no sense then. As soon as he like found his body there and like with the cat like lying beside him, I was like, or lying at his feet, I was like, oh, okay, so the cat when he touched it, that was just him because it's like Sixth Sense, like, yeah. But no, all right, well, shit.
Did this? It was just class fuck half-started ideas, and a fucking telegraphed twist.
Yeah,
like. It's gonna turn out later that I'm dead. Okay, thanks for letting me know.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I mean, I saw the twist coming a mile away, and I didn't feel smart about it.
I'm not gonna lie. I think the time when he started walking, like when he started probably when he got to the point where where he got to the flesh tone pumpkin. From there is when I realized that he's going to get upstairs and find him himself dead. That was about it. Like, especially when I almost glided up the stairs. It's like, yeah, all right.
Well, yeah, because of the foreshadowing with the cat. When the cat's dead, there's a cat pumpkin.
He's going to be dead next.
There's a him pumpkin.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Any more nitpicks?
Well, we've already gone over the obituary.
Yeah. That was the big glaring one for me.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah, it's just, there were some cool ideas put in this one, but they weren't expanded on at all. Really need to be elaborated more, or looked at a couple more times and expanded on. Otherwise, it would have been good. It might have been a good story, but right now, as it is, I can't even recommend it. Just as is, it's got to be looked at again.
Yeah, this is not prod.
Yeah,
it's just there's it's not offensive. It's not a shitty story. Like, I didn't get angry.
Yeah, you don't seem very riled up like you usually are when they're really bad. But
yeah, and I don't know if that's because the story didn't piss me off or because I'm just fucking tired because I've been going like a madman the past few days, but. Yeah, this story is really, the only effect it had on me or the only impression it left with me was an impression of meh.
Yeah, and that's also another bad thing.
Exactly.
The worst thing you can have
because,
when alright.
Like, it's worse for your story to go meh than for it to induce rage.
To be infamously
because
bad.
if it induces rage, at least it
evokes some emotion.
Yeah, it evokes a passionate response.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, that with me, I feel like the passion that you evoke with a story is a passion that goes into it, and I feel like this one just had no passion in, so it gets no passion out.
Yeah.
And that's just sad.
Mm-hmm.
And not just pathetic.
Yeah. Yep. And Mikey?
Yeah, I didn't really care for it. Like, the creepiness was explained as being essentially a dream sequence.
Yeah, like a fever dream. And it was just I've read a story similar to this one, where the guy like spends an entire day like being ignored by things and like he's like a really old guy and he's like living like in his house and stuff like that, and eventually like you find out that he's been dead for a while and that he's just a it's a haunting story from the perspective of the ghost who doesn't realize he's dead. And it was a really well done story. This one is not how that played out. It looked like there again cool creepy ideas in this if they had been worked at or if they'd been focused on, not just haha, here we go, and then walk off stage.
Yeah, or even just do something with some of the ideas.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think actually, like, having, like, some kind of, like, killer that's or, like, some kind of, like, killer, like, popping, like, swapping jack-o'-lanterns and stuff like that.
Not even that. Because that doesn't, that would be a different story.
Oh, yeah.
But he has so many, like, ideas that are half-started that he does nothing with in this story that wouldn't actually change the story aside from making it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really, like, if the guy is listening to us, really just the advice we have is go back and take a couple more looks at your story.
You got a first draft here because you've got, you know, the key ideas. It's more like a plot summary than a story, but you've got a good starting point where, you know, you just need to turn it into an act story. Yeah. Because, this just, it does not read like a story. And if you're going to try and have a timeline, fucking have it make sense. Have it, you know, like, if you're going to wake up, you got to fall asleep. You can't wake up 6 times in a row.
Yeah.
You have to fall asleep in there somewhere.
I'm actually getting deja vu from the last story we did. We're just like, I woke up, I must have dozed off or hit my head somewhere because I woke up. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, but this one does it.
This one just like, I woke up after sleeping. It's like, wait, where was the...
I woke up with my face in the sofa.
Yeah.
Did you, like, is that weird? Like, did you fall asleep like that?
And then he explained...
Did you fall asleep in bed?
Yeah.
Did you, like, you know, have a nod off in the bath?
Exactly,
like, I'm coming up with lots of ways to fall asleep, and they all seem a lot more pleasant than how you woke up. But, hey, man, if that's your thing, if that's how you sleep, you know, face down on the sofa, cool.
And that could actually be like another cool thing for the story is that like if you add like he goes to sleep, like he actually like says where he goes to sleep, and then he wakes up somewhere else in the house in a different weird position or something like that. Like,
or explain that he's waking up, but he didn't go to bed. Like he didn't go to sleep.
He doesn't remember going.
I didn't go to sleep, but all of a sudden I was waking up. Yeah. That's creepy.
Yeah, that actually, because that's lost time.
Exactly. Which, maybe, since he's been a spirit, maybe he just doesn't exist for that amount of time. And then when he does exist, it's like waking up? Or that's what his mind, you know, tells him that he's doing.
Try and, like, cope with reality as it is now.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I like that.
That would have been a neat idea. But he doesn't say that I don't remember falling asleep. He's just like, I woke up.
Yep.
And I'm like, did you go to sleep?
And he's like,
I woke up.
Moving on. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, really, like, we can't recommend it as it is.
Yeah,
but try.
It's not finished.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, I think that's another one I'm not angry about it. It's like, it's not finished. You can't be angry at an unfinished product. You can be angry at someone for putting it out too early, but that's really it. Like, if this were a cake, it would still be liquid.
Yeah, it would not.
Actually, it would probably still be some individual ingredients.
That's... Yeah.
For me, the whole waking up, I chalk it up to him being sick, and he just fainted on his way back to...
Yeah, that's what you kind of think.
Whatever, but that's the only explanation that you can really come up with, because you don't really know why he's sick.
Exactly, but if he had have said, you know, I woke up, but I didn't remember going to sleep, like, or even, like, feeling faint, well, then it's kind of creepy. But, yeah, like you said, otherwise it's just like, you're sick, you nod off.
Yeah.
Because, when I'm, like, if I'm sick to the point where I'm fucking feeling like a goddamn zombie, Yeah, I just lay down all day and sleep as much as humanly possible.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes for just a couple hours at a time, or fucking 15 minutes can make you feel a lot better.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that I remember thinking that, you're 6, so you're not in off all the time. Good for you.
Yeah.
Now keep your fluids up and maybe you'll get better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he has chicken noodle soup with Coke while he's sick.
College.
For breakfast?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Actually,
I won't deny that is
the
something I did in
soup.
college.
I have
so-
treated a lot of colds with Coke because it's got high sugar, high caffeine. These are the things you can use to really stoke the fires of a fever and just burn shit out of really quick. That's what I do.
Yeah.
But I'm also not a doctor. Totally a doctor. Not that kind of doctor.
Not that kind of doctor. Yeah. And with that, I guess we'll
So don't take medical advice from me, folks. But yeah, I also found that kind of weird, and I was like, oh, you're living on your own for the first time, so you're fucking drinking Coke for breakfast. Okay, have fun.
Yeah, maybe next time switch to coffee. Buy coffee like a real man. No.
Or some orange juice.
All right, yeah, or orange juice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's this week's episode for Al Dente Rigor Mortis. So if you like what you heard, if you didn't, if you have some comments to leave them in the comment section below wherever this gets posted, whether it be on Kiwi6, YouTube, Facebook, Tumblr. We're all on Twitter at E stands for Evil, Dr. Leviathan, and Review Cultist. You can send us a review or rate us on iTunes. That every little bit helps. Also, if you'd like to send us an email, go to aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's aldenterigamortis@gmail.com, where you can also send us creepypastas you'd like us to discuss on the show. Also, if you'd like to check out the title cards for each episode, they're on Tumblr and on YouTube and on the Facebook site, crazonstudios.tumblr.com. And also, if you'd like, you can support us. Go to Patreon and look up El Dente Rigor Mortis. So, until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm still Dr. Leviathan.
And I'm Mikey, the East Hands are evil.
And this has been a very pumpkin-spiced episode of El Dente Rigor Mortis. Sleep well.
Pumpkin spice. And yet it's bland and I don't care for it. I'll see what all the fuss is about.
We've been recording for a little bit.
Sorry, my bad. I'm really excited. Okay?
No, I understand, dude. Like, yeah, seriously.
I don't think you do, and it's not your fault that you don't understand.
I'm but a mortal being. I can't comprehend the excitement of a god.
It's really fucking exciting. Like, I don't always get how excited I am.
Fair.
And then I think about it. And then I piss pants a little bit.
Alright, and with that... Oh, hell.